There's a special tonight you don't want to miss out on. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah presents a special all about Jordan Klepper's time on the campaign trail, but it is only on tonight. It premieres on Comedy Central at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I recently spoke with Jordan all about this special. Let's take a look. Right now I have the opportunity to speak with Jordan Klepper, host of The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Right now we are going to focus on the half-hour special in which Jordan revisits his surreal year on the 2020 campaign trail. Jordan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me more about this special.
Well, for the last year, I was out on the campaign trail, following the MAGAverse, if you will, going to Pennsylvania, I think 1,000 times, interviewing folks from New Jersey boat parades, and eventually finding myself at the insurrection on January 6th. The segment I do is Fingers the Pulse, which is essentially trying to get the read of what's happening out in America. And now that we're past the election season, we kind of wanted to reflect back on some of those moments, sort of figure out how we got to January 6th, and also show people a little bit of the behind the scenes of how things got made and check in with some of the folks that we talked to in the past year.
And without giving too much away, are there any favorite moments, most challenging moments that you'd like to highlight?
There's a lot of faves and challenging moments. I mean, in a nutshell, you know, we were there on January 6th. Our cameraman got attacked. I interviewed a man on a Segway who was trying to overthrow the elected officials. I was screamed at by many people, and am often in frequent contact with the FBI. And I'm a comedian, so it's a weird time, and we try to capture as much of that as we can and show you a little bit of behind the scenes with this special.
Did it make you want to participate in a campaign trail again, maybe even run a campaign yourself, or really what's your takeaway when you look back on the crazy experience?
Maybe run away from a campaign. Usually, I do love the political process, and you know, the idea of being out there and hearing what the candidates say, hearing what the people respond to is something that is very exciting to me. This past year was strange for many reasons. I think Donald Trump always throws on a hell of a show, and I think the folks responding to it are wild. You add a pandemic to that, and an insurrection as well, and it suddenly is a surreal dreamscape that I find myself in. And so, you know, it was a weird time. We all had to live through it. I feel lucky that I got to have a front row seat.
And now looking back on this, of course, we're framing so much by the pandemic. And when you particularly focused on the communities that you interacted with and how individuals responded to the campaign, does it make you hopeful, a little concerned? Did you see people coming together? Or did you see more divisiveness?
I think there's a lot of divisiveness out there. I understand what people, why people attend a lot of these rallies, and being part of the political process is an exciting thing. I think in the MAGA sphere, Donald Trump was an evocative candidate. He threw really fun parties, and there's a lot of people who wanted that sense of belonging. And I think America needs that right now. We want to be surrounded by people. We want to be surrounded by family. And I think sometimes that groupthink can lead to dangerous things, like people storming into a Capitol. And so I'd like to think America is a hopeful place, is a reflectful place, can look back on what we've done and move forward. I'm not going to put any money on it right now, but I always keep a little bit of hope that we're going to actually move forward and get stronger when we can kind of take these masks off and see each other again.
And of course, you are really focusing on the comedy. Was it hard sometimes to find the humor, or was it just there? You just kind of had to uncover it, or did it kind of just write itself?
Well, I will say it's been a journey. By the end, I was heading to rallies for a comedy show with 4 security guards. That's not something I really got into it for. 10 years ago when I was taking improv classes, I didn't expect that security would be mandated for modern satirical comedy. So it's strange, although what you did have in the past year is a story the whole world couldn't look away from. And for a comedian to be able to comment on what is happening and what everybody's talking about, like, that's a luxury. So I'm glad to be a part of that mix. I just wish it were a little bit safer. I'm not the strongest guy out there.
And of course, you'll be sharing never before seen footage. Very excited to watch this. Anything else that you'd like our viewers to know before they tune in?
Well, I think we're really excited about this special. If you're a fan of the pieces or watched them before, it's a chance to actually get those questions answered about what it's like when the cameras are down and people signing the releases, yelling at me off screen, attempting to get into fights. But we also check back in to see is there change in these people that we met before. And we have fun little guests like we talked to people even like the mayor of Albuquerque, who's having issues getting money from the Trump campaign and is still has creditors going after Donald Trump to try to get 200 grand. So the story continues. We just want to catch up.
The Daily Show with Trevor Noah presents Jordan Klepper Fingers the Pulse into the MAGAverse. It airs tonight, Monday, April 19th at 9 p.m. Mountain Time on Comedy Central. Jordan, thank you so much for joining us here on Park City Television.
Thanks for having me.